Hi guys, so candidate for Tory leader Kemi Badenoch was interviewed by Kemi Badenoch friendly GB News on a range of issues from what she feeds her kids to the idea of leaving the European Convention on Human Rights. And again, the Good Friday Agreement was not mentioned at any stage. However, the Tory MP was asked about Brexit and why she voted to leave. Kemi provided two reasons, one even worse than the next. Have a listen to this.
I was a civilian in 2016. I wasn't an MP, and I listened to all the arguments, and I thought, do you know what? There are two reasons why I'm going to vote leave. The first is that we've asked the EU for some minor changes. They've said no. If they
What? We asked the EU for some minor changes and they said no. Minor changes? Okay, first of all, David Cameron wanted the UK as a non-Eurozone country to be protected from decisions made by Eurozone countries. He didn't want the UK to contribute to bailouts to other EU member states. Remember, the UK was a member at the time, didn't want to contribute to any bailouts. He was against the idea of more regulations that would protect both consumers and improve standards in the European Union. Cameron demanded a formal, legally binding exemption for the UK from the founding principle of a greater union of states. He wanted more powers of veto for the UK against new EU legislation. He also wanted stronger restrictions on the rights of EU citizens to work in Britain. These were not minor changes. They were unachievable goals of a politician who was too weak to stand up to the crazy wing of his party and hope that the EU would bend over backwards to help him out. And he was wrong.
They're saying no now. They're going to be saying no forever. So why don't we allow them to go in their direction and we take a different direction?
Oh my goodness. The UK's biggest trading partner is the single market, is the European Union. And you're talking about, well, look, they're always going to say no. No to what? We're not going to be allowed to cherry pick. No, you're not going to be allowed to cherry pick. At what stage are these people going to wake up and smell the coffee and realize that they can't cherry pick? That things are going to get worse. It's going to get so bad that they will turn around and say, actually, we need to rejoin the European Union.
Believe in this country. I think we're confident. Let's, so it was just a lower risk, a higher risk appetite, I should say, for us being able
Brexit
to.
Brexit is a power transfer back to elected people like yourselves. Exactly. It's not about what frustrates me about the Brexit debate. It's not Brexit's fault that it hasn't been done very well. For me, it's frankly a failure of the Tory party to do it.
So we have two Brexiteers here arguing over something that they don't understand. The quote-unquote journalist doesn't understand what Brexit was about, and Kemi Badenoch certainly doesn't understand what Brexit was about.
Properly.
Well, and
deliver on the promise of it.
So this is the thing. The second reason why I voted was because of what Angela Merkel had done the year before, allowing
with the borders.
Yes, with the borders, creating 1 million EU citizens overnight. And I thought
this is an absolute lie. She did not create 1 million citizens overnight. What happened was a number of people arrived in Germany and claimed asylum, and they moved on to refugee status. But if they wanted to become German citizens, they had to follow the procedure like anyone else. If Kemi were to go to Germany and try to become a German citizen, she'd have to follow the procedure. If I was to go to Germany, I would have to follow the procedure. There was no difference. There was no fast-tracking people into German citizenship so they could arrive in Britain eventually. This is an absolute lie. And of course, the lie is not being called out because she's not speaking to a journalist. She's speaking to a Brexiteer hack.
Well, if any country can create 1 million EU citizens, I don't like that. I want a sovereign national state. So I voted leave, but I also thought that there was a plan. And got into Parliament in 2017, no plan. I am an engineer. That's not how you do things. You don't just say, we're going to do this, and you buy something, and then you then work out how you're going to build on this thing that you've bought. You have to have a plan.
Then why did you vote for it? Why did you vote for something that didn't have a plan? She shot herself in the foot here. She voted for a lie. She sort of admits it. Yeah, we voted for something that wasn't clear. You said there wasn't a plan. You voted for something that didn't have a plan. And once again, no challenge from the journalist here from GB News. He seems to be more of a fan than interested in holding her to account. It's absolutely pathetic. Why would you vote for something that you didn't understand? Why would you vote for something that didn't have a plan behind it? The Brexiteers didn't have a plan. They said, we're just going to vote to leave the European Union. We'll leave the European Union. Okay. Reasonable people were asking questions about, well, what would happen? What comes after? Are we going to be part of the single market? Well, some Brexiteers were saying yes, and others were saying no. There was no honesty there. Nigel Farage was saying Britain would be like Switzerland, Britain would be like Norway. And anyone who raised a concern was shouted down. They were talking Britain down. They weren't a true patriot. They were more interested in European affairs than British affairs. And now we have Brexiteer interviewing Brexiteer, suggesting that the problem is not Brexit, the problem is the Conservative Party. They didn't implement it correctly. It's beyond pathetic. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. And remember, this is a potential future leader of the Conservative Party.